So here we are again. We had pretty bad luck with those original Carcano military surplus loads that we had. We only had about a 30% fire rate out of those. So what we're doing is we knocked the bullets out of the ones that didn't go off. We're going to reuse these bullets when we reload. And we came across, kind of by happenstance, a mold that was produced for, I believe it was Mid-South Shooter Supply, and it was a 6.5 SWED mold, and they had Lee make it, but for the 6.5 Swede, it threw too big of a bullet. And it just so happens that coming out of the mold with the proper alloy, we're coming in at 271, 272, 0.271, 0.272 diameter on this. And it's at 166 grains. So we're going to try this bullet here in a little while after we get them powder coated and ready to rock and roll. See if we can get them to print on paper with these old surplus Carcanos. Anyways, stay tuned. 166 grain. Yeah. We'll be back. So here's the pour in action. Decent pour, let it cool off. Knock off the sprue to reclaim later. And we're quenching them in water to get them hard.
You can tell them about the mix that we used.
Yeah, it's 5% tin and 3% antimony. 92% lead. And that's what we get coming out.
And quenching them in water hardens them a little further.
Yeah. They should be coming in about 18 on the hardness scale, which is what we want for up to 2,200, 2,300 feet per second. We were probably going to be pushing these maybe around 2,000 for the weight of them because they're a little heavier. The original military load was 160 grain, and these are,
that's what you've got right
these
there.
Are a round nose flat tip, so they're not a complete round nose, but they should be pretty close to the original.
You just explained it. That is the original right there.
Yeah.
From the,
I did.
Yeah,
and then these, and then we're going to we'll be sizing these. We'll be running them through a sizer to get them down to 270. That's what we'll be final sizing them at after we powder coat them. Anyway, we will bring you back when we get closer to pushing these things down range. There's the 6.5 SWED mold box, just so you can see what it is we're using. And this was a limited run mold. I'm not even sure if you can get it anymore. Mid-South was, I believe it was Mid-South was the one that had these made. If you look on the forums, a lot of people complained about how they were too big for the 6.5 Swedish, 6.5 or 55 Swedish, but they're miking out 271, 272, which would be perfect. We'll size them down 270 once we powder coat them, and they should just be skookum. Anyways, we'll get back at it when we get to shoot these out of the Carcano for you. Looking nice. We've got a little bit of powder coating paint in there. We're going to tumble these for like 5 minutes and cook them at 225 degrees for 15 minutes. And then we'll be ready to run them through the sizer after that. Put the gas checks on them, and we'll be sticking them in some cases here real quick. There it is. There's our Frankfurt Arsenal tumbler, and we've got an improvised tumbler basket. It's a protein bottle, but it works kind of. We're going to do a little bit of refining. This is the bullets. They're in here at 215 degrees for about 15 minutes. The powder coating will adhere to the bullets, and then we will let it cool, and we'll be ready to size them and load them. We'll size them, we'll put the gas checks on at the same time that we size them. Anyways, back in a while. Here we have the bullets just removed out of the oven. Gonna cool off for a few minutes, and then they'll be ready to size and put the gas checks on. And that's what they look like. Powder coated. Lee breech lock sizer rings and pushers. 270 with a aluminum gas check on the base. So after powder coating, they will be sized to 270, and that should be pretty darn good for loading them and shooting them out of the Carcano. Because we did slug the barrels on the DK guns and also on the classic firearms cavalry Carcanos, and we only had one of the cavalry carbines that was I'm going to say pretty much a wore out barrel. The large diameter was about 2715, 272, and the small diameter was about 268, which is pretty big. All the other ones were coming in at around 269 for the depth of the groove, and about 265 to 266 on the lands.
And the size of those gas checks is .27 is what it says on the bag. Got them
Yeah, these are
Outdoors.
Sage Outdoors gas check, and they're 6.5 millimeter.
Oh, those are .27 actually.
Well, it says on the bag. It says 6.5 millimeter. SS aluminum gas check.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. We went to the other one. I forgot. It is a 6.5.
So.
And then the powder coated bullet, another advantage of it is when you're handling the bullets, you're not touching lead anymore.
Yep, and there's no need to lube the grease screws. These will shoot without letting the barrel because of the powder coating.
Yeah, in testing that we've done, it's amazing how well the powder coat adheres even after the bullet is smashed through a log or something. It's still amazingly there on the outside.
Yeah, and even though there's some spots where it looks kind of light, it's still on there, and you don't get any leading at all. So it's a very inexpensive way to make your own bullets, and these were coming out of the mold, like I said earlier, like 272, and so just a little bit of a push to get them down to 270, not very much at all. It's just going to run the PPU brass. I think this is what's fired through the process here. If I can keep everything together. And this is just slightly expanding the case mouth. This is going to be our first test of these new bullets that we made, and also want to give thanks to the Cobalt 49 on his channel. Check out his channel. He's the one who recommended that we use the Hornady Carcano guys. So that's what we're doing. We're following his advice because he's been at this a heck of a lot longer, and he's got good information. The only thing we're doing is he had a special custom expander plug that he was using, and we're using a Lee universal expander die, and it seems to be doing a pretty good job. But we'll
belling the case neck so you can get the bullets in.
We'll just barely belling it so the bullets will start. But and it's fully customizable and adjustable to whatever you need. That's the nice thing about the universal expander die. You can use it on anything. And we'll see how it does by the time we get all done. So we're going to charge these cases, and we're using some Shooter's World precision rifle, and it is very close to Varget in granule size and volume per cc. And consulting several different loading tables. We're going to be safe going with the 29.
We're going to start with 29 or 30. Originally you had 30.
Yeah. Well, 30, and I wanted to do 32. And
30, 31, 32.
No, I think 29. Well, I need to look at that other chart. This, you need to consult books and known data so that you know where you're at. And again, refer to some of the videos that Mike at the Cobra 49 has put out about the way he did his load development, so that you can know how to inspect your fired cases to see how you're doing. Make sure you're not overpressuring. Make sure you're not, reaching any dangerous points on the process. And we're going to be using a chronograph so that we will know where we're at with our velocity, and we can refer to those charts so that we will know that we won't be overpressuring, and we'll also be done.
And we're starting at a lower
and we're starting a little
level
lower,
of that Varget load that was tested. Yeah.
So we're going to use the Lee powder dipper and just to check to make sure we're getting a consistent charge. 32.7. So that's a little bit more than what the Varget shows on the chart.
Right, so you want to use...
So it's 30.1, so I'll just going to take a little bit off. We'll weigh each one.
You're going to use that for the high one.
We'll just weigh each one. We're going for 30 right now. All right?
Mm-hmm.
So we got the bugs worked out. Had to trim a few cases. Apparently, it looks like this 6.5 by 55 or 52 Carcano is very picky on getting the case length exactly right, so that you don't have any issues with deforming the case when you go to do the final bullet seat and crimp process. So we fine-tune that and got our problems taken care of. So on to the last one now.
Yeah, and you got the overall length dialed in.
Okay. That's it.
Chronoing the lighter charge load first. Yeah, it might not have enough of a shadow in the chronograph. Did it register?
Nope. That one came out clean. Error 3.
Yeah, so we're still getting errors.
Everything looks good on the case as far as pressure and all that.
Might have to do it when you got a better shadow. Well, finish the last round and we can try it another day. Last one.